My name is Marquetta Deville. I'm affectionately known as the Real Estate Auntie, and today I am in studio with J Haleem.
Does your roof need some love? Maybe a whole roof makeover? Rhino Roofing can make your roof as good as new. Any job, big or small, residential or commercial. Go to rhinolovesroofs.com to get a free estimate. That's Rhino Roofing at rhinolovesroofs.com to get the roof of your dreams. Rhino Roofing, Las Vegas's premier roofing company. rhinolovesroofs.com. That's rhinolovesroofs.com.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, J Haleem, and we are back on the hottest podcast in the city, in the studio with me, your boy, your big homie, J Haleem. And listen, I got a lovely young lady that's in here today, the Real Estate Auntie. I love this name. I could not wait to say this name on camera. I couldn't wait to talk to her about this name. And, you know, I love real estate. If you know me, I'm into real estate. I love real estate since I was a kid. Didn't know nothing about it, but as I learned, it's still one of my favorite ways to earn and to build wealth. So to talk to her is going to be a fun time. So today I have the lovely and talented Miss Marquetta Deville.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Auntie.
Yes.
You know, we get to a certain age and now we're making it feel like it's cool for us to call ourselves auntie or unc. I literally found myself getting upset with young cats calling me unc or OG, and I really didn't like it because I was never a part of a gang, but I like, and that's how I always think about it. I'm like, I ain't no OG because we didn't have that growing up. I'm from the East Coast, and you know that was more of a West Coast thing. So it was just more, we said old head.
Oh yeah.
And when you said old head, you took it personally because they knew you were old head. I'm like, I ain't no old head.
Right.
But being there, you said affectionately known
Yes.
as the Real Estate Auntie. At what point did you start feeling affectionate about the title auntie?
Oh, I have always loved being an auntie. My niece actually started it when she was born, and she did not want to say TT. She always wanted to say auntie, and so I became TT Markey. And so from there, as I began to grow, you know how it is, or you may not, but being like the oldest. So I'm the oldest niece, the oldest grandchild, the oldest child.
Yep.
And so when I think about all the generations under me that look up to me, even my younger cousins who are maybe 10, 15 years
Call
younger
you
than
auntie.
me, it was not just, that's my cousin Marky, that's my auntie. And so when I had to make a brand change in my business, life happens and we have to change. I adopted the Real Estate Auntie as my brand.
I love it. And you're absolutely right. I was literally on the phone like 2 days ago with a little cousin of mine, but he's like a younger cousin.
Yes.
And he called me Unc the whole time. And I never corrected him because, again, my grandmother raised me. I am her oldest child. So I was raised with her children.
Oh, okay.
You know, like as if those were my siblings. So it made sense. And he's literally like 20 years old, so he doesn't know no better.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't correct him, and it was cool to get that. So I would definitely want to tap in that. We're going to spend the block on the real estate part.
Okay.
But just want to get to know you. Because about this podcast is definitely about business, but I want to know the people behind the business. So how did you get started, you know, with your career? Are you from here originally? How did you get here? Okay. Born and bred.
I was born and raised right in, it's so funny, we're on Valley View. I was born in Valley View, the West Las Vegas Valley View.
Oh, wow. I never even knew that was a thing.
Yes, it's a whole thing. We actually just had Reading Rainbow in the park in Valley View, and the family reunion in the park in Valley View is the reunion of our neighborhood. And Yes, I have been in Las Vegas my entire life. Never had a desire to leave.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
And no, I went to college in Colorado for one semester, came back, and had no other desire to leave Las Vegas from that point.
Did you go to UNLV when you came back or
Yes.
somewhere? Okay, all
Yep,
right.
I came back. I went to UNLV, and then I just got a summer job, actually. And they hired me in as an intern at the water district. And then I just lived my life in Vegas, from the casinos to optical. And then about 10 years ago, my husband at the time and I decided to open up a real estate company. And so a year into it, it was growing so rapidly. I retired from optical, and I've been in real estate ever since.
I love it. I love it. So what did you learn? What did you study when you went to UNLV?
Computer science. And ironically, I'm back at UNLV because I'm teaching, and to get my teaching license, I'm in early childhood development now.
So computer science to
Optical.
into real estate. It's crazy because, you know, we got to talk to these kids about it now. Like when you're going to college for a thing,
Yes.
and then as so many of us adults, they're not doing nothing like what we went to school for.
Yes.
I've had somebody who I interviewed here who went to school for zoology.
Oh.
And she's doing some other company like right now, and she's knocking it out the park. But I'm like, you went to school for what? And she's doing nothing besides she loves animals, but she's not doing anything that has anything to do with what her degree was. So, you know, what made you make the shift and say, hey, I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to focus on the career at optical and then go into real estate.
Okay, so I won't say a funny story. The story behind it is, when I was in high school, I was supposed to graduate like shortly after my sophomore year, maybe December of my junior year, I should have graduated. And I did not want to. And so I went to a trade school. Let me tell my dark secrets. I went to a trade school, and I did not know at that time what I was wanting to do. Walk through the trade school, and so I was like, oh, that class is full of boys. I'm going to go into computer science. So I chose computer science as my trade, and I actually did it for 10 years. But my daughter's dad was a police officer here in Las Vegas, died in the line of duty.
Oh,
and so at that time, I was actually working 2 jobs.
Okay.
And I had to make a quick shift. And when I went back to work after we got all the smoke cleared, I went back to work, but I was like, I can't work 2 jobs now. Like, my daughter was used to having a very involved mom, dad, and so now I felt like I had to pick up the pieces and be involved as much as we were together. Yeah. And so I went into optical because it paid. Yeah. It was not like something I thought about, not something I loved. I began to love it. Yeah. And the one thing that I discovered why in optical was that my calling was to serve. Wow. And so no matter what field I went into, I was going to serve. Yeah. And so fast forward, I got married. Life restarted for me. And my husband at the time was in real estate. Okay. And so, of course, you do what you do to build the family business. And so about 3 years into the marriage, he said, we're going to open our own business. And I said, okay. And a year after that, I resigned from my job because our company was growing so rapidly. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know, a lot of people, again, always have that thing of trying to figure out how can you work with your spouse and how is the best way to support your spouse. So what were some of the things in the beginning, you know, when you jumped off the train and started doing this with him? What were some of the things y'all had to overcome to learn how to work together?
Actually, that came naturally.
Really? Wow.
Working together came naturally. It actually, at that time, saved our marriage.
Oh, wow.
Working together, because working in optical, I was a general manager for the lens crafters, which meant if we couldn't make payroll, I worked open to close. And so I was away from home a lot. The two last kids were in high school or just starting college. And so I looked at it as an opportunity for us to spend more time together. So we did. We spent more time together. We would literally be in bed at nighttime like, oh, we gonna try this tomorrow, or this is our new tactic. And so like we really had this camaraderie in our marriage about it. It came naturally. It was great. We could travel together. We would eat together. We would divide and conquer the community together. So it actually worked out great.
I love it. I mean, those stories are very definitely, I mean, we don't tell them enough because it's a lot more on the, when it doesn't work.
Right.
And why it won't work and things of that nature. But just highlighting that, saying, hey, and then you guys are here in Vegas. So even though it's a big town, but it's a big, small town.
Yes.
And so a lot more people, and it get even smaller because you guys are African Americans. So, we definitely got to highlight, that amazing teamwork.
Yes.
And we had a real estate team in here, literally a husband and wife. So I'm loving to see that around here. Are you finding a lot more people are getting in business with their spouse and they're being successful?
I don't know too many other couples that are in business together, honestly. I know, a couple in real estate, but they have their own lanes of the market. Like Alicia Taylor, her and her husband are both in their business together, but she does lending, he does real estate. Okay. So they're together but separate, right? So we were literally together doing our thing. So
I love it. It's the boot up thing for me.
Yeah.
So at what point in your business, as you're going through the motions, that you become the real estate auntie, that you wanted to help other people in real estate outside of just making money off of it, selling houses, things of that nature?
So Raw and Uncut live on the J Haleem show. Last year, I went through a divorce.
Okay.
And I had to, in the moment, find my own identity in the real estate market.
Wow.
And so in traveling, my daughter was in college. I was auntie to everybody at Jackson State. I took my mom when my daughter crossed over to become an AKA. And we went to Jackson State and we were pulling in the gate and they were like, oh, it's the Vegas auntie. Just go ahead. And my mom's like, they don't need to see your ID. I was like, no, girl, I'm always here. But in that moment, like I literally had to figure out what was my next move. And so I became the real estate auntie.
Wow.
And I ran with it and I relaunched my brand as the real estate auntie and I became my own identity.
I love it. I love it. So what is one of the testimonies that you can share with someone that you helped or blessed being their auntie in this real estate space? Because it's not the easiest thing to do.
It's not. I want to say being in the real estate market or being in real estate, the knowledge that I give to so many, one of the things I wanted to make sure was in business that I was always relatable.
Yeah. And
I know a lot of times you get into business and once you really start to make it in that industry, you forget how to talk those layman terms to the people.
Love it.
And so I take pride in that. I let my people, I'm like, talk to me like you would talk to your auntie.
Yeah.
When I call my niece and she's like, auntie, I'm going through X, Y, and Z and I can't tell my mom, I'm like, girl, tell me what happened. Let's talk about this.
Oh, man.
And so I'm the same way in real estate. They're like, I ain't did my taxes. I'm like, it's okay. We gonna get the taxes done. I'm gonna connect you with who you need for them taxes. We gonna fix the taxes. And so I take pride in that.
Yeah.
In being, I'm your auntie. Tell me the raw and uncut of what you're going through. Yeah. And from there, we gonna figure it out. And I'm not gonna leave you. Auntie gonna be here. And we gonna figure this thing out.
I know I read that you love working with first-time home buyers.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because I feel like a lot of people don't purchase a home because they don't either have the education on it, the resources, or the opportunity. And so we deliver all of that.
Yeah.
And so me and my team, we focus on finding resources in the community for first-time home buyers so that they can know this generational wealth gap has to come to a close.
Yeah.
And so it's our people that refuse to look it up on their own. It's our people that, and I won't say they refuse, because sometimes it's just you don't know.
Yeah.
So how do you know to go look up the information?
Yeah.
So call me. Let me guide you through the process from beginning to end. And that's why I love working with first-time home buyers. I get the pleasure of serving them. And walking them through the process. I literally just closed a couple in April. Mm-hmm. And they were like, okay, when we have kids, you're going to be auntie. I was like, oh.
You can't put a price tag on that.
No.
You can't put a price tag on that. One thing I want people to know, too, about real estate is, especially the first-time home buyers, they make it easier for you to get anything but a house. Mm-hmm. And we have to start talking about that.
Absolutely.
Same thing as people of color. We try to talk about things that lead to wealth. We're talking about insurance. We have, pre-existing conditions. Mm-hmm. And so, you can get a small insurance policy, but when you want $1 million policy and you can afford to pay for it, you can't just say that you're going to be able to get that like they might say on social media. No. Now, that diabetes that your family has, we're not giving you $1 million. Right. Those pre-existing conditions, we don't have that. Same thing like buying a house. They can go buy a car, and some places won't even check your credit or even check your money or your income. But a house, they're going to go so far deep in you, and then you have everybody wants to be entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. They make it harder on a person with a business,
right,
to get a house. Man, you can make $1 million in your business. Somebody can make $100,000 on a job, and they'll get more from. You'll be able to get a house faster than you.
Absolutely.
And so we got to talk about those things in our community, and that's one of the reasons, I believe, biggest reasons why we're running away from home ownership or going after these wealth vehicles that they have, because these are the roadblocks, and people are just like, I don't want to be turned away anymore. Are you finding that?
I do. And one of the things that I think about in real estate is in the African American community, we are taught that wealth is, I can wear Gucci or I can wear Louis, but we're also looking at the society as, oh man, the police are against us, the economy's against us, that we're never gonna come up, and that's not true. It's the lack of education of home ownership, stock investment, and entrepreneurship being the top 3 ways to create wealth, definitely. Right? And so if we would just get on that knowledge train of building wealth through one of those 3 areas, we could change economically, systemically, what's happening to us. If I had a house and I got in some type of trouble, right? Yeah. Some type of trouble. Now you can go out and leverage the equity in your home and get the best lawyers, get the best support team, get those things that we don't normally have, but we refuse to believe. And I think some of it comes also from, we're probably in our age group the first generation that wasn't like truly affected by the racism in the form of slavery and segregation. It's still happening, but not like it happened to our parents and our grandparents. Mm-hmm. So we still hold on to some of their thought process. I'm not putting my money in the bank. Why?
Well, once you start to get to a point of education, I get when they say that, but a lot of people who say that they don't want to put their money in the bank don't know why they're saying it.
Right.
Because our parents didn't, or our grandparents didn't want to put our money in the bank because they actually saw the banks dry up. Yes. They actually saw where they couldn't go. They go into the ATM and nothing would come back out. Mm-hmm. Or at least their mothers saw it. They saw 29 and in the 30s and these type of things. And so when you start to think about that, it's like, I'm not ever going back to a bank. I would say you don't got to put your money in the bank. I use banks. I don't have my money just sit in the bank. I use them. Yeah. Bank got to be a partner of mine. If not, I don't want my money there. But we got to understand how that works.
And why.
But we talk a lot. you know what I mean, about that, especially people that look like us, and they're trying to get you to buy a course or something like that. But we're just to getting people to, you know, I always say we focus on the 2%, the ultra rich or the ultra poor. And I'll never talk about the 98% of the rest of us that's moving around. Right. And so the ultra rich say, oh, I don't use banks. Or then they talking to the ultra poor. And so they're skipping past all these steps, trying to get to the ultra rich, not knowing that, you know, it's a whole lot of things in here. Like, so I want to talk to you about wealth. And I want your thought on wealth. I'm tired of hearing broke people talk about wealth. Right. You know what I mean? And generational wealth. Because generational wealth starts with you becoming wealthy. Right. You know what I mean? So we need to start talking about how you can focus, because broke people don't need to be talking about trust right now. Like, if you don't got a job, I don't want to hear you talk about trust. If you can't pay your bills, I don't want to hear you having trust conversations. I do believe that you have to act your wage and, you know what I'm saying, and have conversations that fit, you know, your tax bracket. Right. What do you feel about wealth?
So the funny thing again goes back to economics. Let me back up. One of the things I do want to touch on before I forget is that when we were talking about we don't understand why our parents do certain things, I don't know what is considered, but they talk about, like, there was this grandmother, and for generations she would cut the ends off of her roast and she would put it in a pot. And so grandma passed away, mom passed away, and so one of the maybe fourth generation was like, Mom, why do we cut the end off of the roast? And she was like, I don't know, my grandmother always did it. And the grandfather was like, it's because she didn't have a pot big enough for the roast. And so without having that pot big enough, and now we've gone through 4 generations of still doing this same thing, right? Yeah. So I had to put that in.
No, that is amazing. That is amazing. That's a topic all of his own, because you just said, just think about having enough. Right. Having enough. You know what I mean? Like, you taught that you don't have enough even before you even look out to see if you got enough. So that's a preach sermon right there. But go ahead. Yes.
But when it comes to wealth, I believe that wealth is in all forms, right? And so it's not just financially. You have to have the mindset when it comes to wealth. You have to have the spiritual, no matter what you believe, you have to have some type of foundation when it comes to wealth. Wealth is physical, is mental, and is financial, right? And so I love where you said you can't talk the conversation. You don't want to hear from the people that's not walking and talking and, like, truly living wealth. And so our experiences teach us wealth. So, like, I was speaking earlier as we were talking about the fact I went through a divorce last year, right? And so people don't even understand that even your pain can be your profit. Yeah. And that's exactly where I come from. I went from living what I thought I would retire from. Yeah. In I was like, by 2-3 years, I'll be retired, living my life, the life I want to enjoy. And then it all came to a screeching stop. Yeah. Because of my divorce. Yeah. And so I had to learn, even in that moment, how to change your pain into purpose, into a profit. Yeah. Like, we don't understand. We think automatically that wealth, I got to have the nicest car, the nicest shoes, the nicest jewelry. No, you have to have this overall plate. They tell you to balance your plate. You got to have fruits and vegetables, a starch, a protein. For me, I had to look at that and say, divorce is not my story. It happened to me, but it's not who I am, right? And so I can't allow my life to all the way change because I went through a divorce. Like, girl, no, it hurt, but it was purpose in it. And now you better profit from that purpose, right? And so wealth doesn't necessarily mean you got $1 million in the bank, but it's how you utilize what you do have. Yeah. So your wealth may be purposed in the pain that you went through. Your wealth may be leveraging the bank's money, not just your money. Wealth comes in all different forms, but how are you going to build wealth is really where it starts.
Yeah, for me, and definitely, I totally agree. Just to clarify, I want to talk the wealth conversation all day long.
Right.
I just think some people are babies when it comes to finances, especially from a knowledge perspective. And so we're not going to give a baby a steak.
No.
And that's what we're doing.
Right.
We're giving babies steaks. I believe you need to grow. Like, people would say, oh, man, don't save money. You should just be investing it. No, like, you got to start off with saving first.
Yes.
Because investing, exactly. They skip so many steps.
Right.
And then you'll hear somebody who broke talking about, I don't save, I invest. Like, I saw a brother say, and I wanted to jump up and do a Holy Ghost dance. He said, because somebody sent him a message that said, tell me what I should do with $100 in the stock market. He said, you shouldn't be in the stock market with $100.
Right.
I said, yes, Lord.
Right.
Save. Because investing means that you're in a position where you can put money up and not worry about it.
To lose it.
Lose it and not worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
you got to put some money up and be able to let it sit for 6 months. Let it sit for a year and not touch it. But saving is the practice of that. Once you start practicing and putting some money to the side and you're not thinking about it and you don't have to keep going back to it, then you're ready to invest.
Right.
But we be telling ourselves, we try to skip these steps and then we lose it all. And then we start saying, oh, the stock market ain't for me.
Right.
Real estate ain't for me. Or these things aren't for me. No, you're not prepared for these things. Buying a piece of property, you stuck. Your money's in there. That 20% is in there. You know what I mean? There's other ways that you can get it without putting it down. I'm just saying, like, this conventional loan, 20%. If the house is $100,000, that's $20,000 in there. Right. And then you gotta have to put probably another $20,000 in there to fix it up. That money's in there for the next 3, 4, 5 months, depending on what you're doing. Some of it can be in there for the next year.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with that.
Yes.
And if you ain't good with saving money, you know what I mean? You're going to be sick. And you're going to try to get rid of that house so you can get that money back. Yeah. And you're going to do it. So, like, people don't need to be having these discussions if they're not prepared. I believe entrepreneurship can be for everybody. I don't think everybody should do it. I think you should go to boot camp like the military. And when you go through that training, you're prepared for that. Right. You're prepared for somebody to go ahead and take that hit if that hit comes. But we keep telling people that, and we're leaving our jobs prematurely because of entrepreneurship, because you having some success this year, but you don't know your business cycles. Right. You don't know, okay, the first 3 cycles was good, quarters were good, and fourth quarter for your business sucks. Right. You know what I mean? The fourth quarter come wipe you all the way out, but you didn't know that.
And you didn't plan.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, so let's stop talking about this stuff to babies. Right. You know what I mean? Like, when you get to a certain point, certain things are going to open up to you. Like, when you start saying, oh, I got $10,000 saved in the bank or saved under the mattress or saved wherever you got. Now the world opens up to you in a different way. When you get to 25, something else opens up to you. When you get to 100, something else opens up to you. And it's there for you. Right. It's there for you to say, okay, I got 5 properties and I got $200,000 in the bank and I got 3 businesses. I might need to start having a conversation about putting this stuff in the trust. Yes. But you don't need to have a trust if you barely own the house you got and you don't have nothing. You got a 1-person business. You don't need that. Right. Yeah. Your LLC is probably messing you up. You know what I mean? Because if you don't understand how the tax situation go. So we need to have those conversations. I definitely want us to have all of the conversations, but everybody don't need to be in the room. When we was younger, they used to tell children, go, ain't no kids in here. You know what I'm saying? Stay in the child's place. Right. Now, you can tell your kids something so they can be smarter than the other kids. Right. But they still don't need to be in the room with adults talking adult business. Yeah. That's what I feel about it.
I agree. And I just feel like start where you are.
Please.
If you are trying to get in investment and you know that you got $5 that you can afford to lose because you were going to spend it on coffee anyway, start there. And I do like where you talked about having, like, telling the truth behind it. We're in the social media age where they're like, oh, the bank will give you $100,000 business funding. No, there are steps to getting that $100,000 business. And I was actually, that person you were just talking about. That was me when I first left my job at LensCrafters. Our business wasn't set up correctly. Yeah. When it came to getting, it was set up in the LLC correctly, but we weren't on the road path to be able to get capital from the business.
Exactly.
When we purchased our first home, we had the mindset of this is where our kids will remember to come back to. And it wasn't until I took a capital readiness program, it was called BOSS, by this taught by Shondell Newsom, with the city of Las Vegas. And I learned so much from that class about a year into leaving LensCrafters and just fully working in the real estate business, right? And I was like, oh my God, we need to go back, because the internet has made me think that we can be capital ready and I can get $100,000 because now my business is declining.
Yeah.
No, that was not the story. That was not the case. We had to go back and restructure even down to the taxes. We had to go back and figure out how to get our taxes paid every quarter.
Yes.
How to have a profit and loss statement. This is stuff that we don't think about with entrepreneurship. That's why I actually love teaching the kids. Because they will absorb everything, and I can teach them based off of my life experience. It's no book to my class. They said, go in and teach business. I said, oh, I'm about to teach from the mistakes that I made in my own business. I go back, I teach the kids, first thing we tackle is budgeting. The 50-30-20 split. I know there's a couple of other ones out there now, but for the kids, if I can just get them to understand it, I'm going to put 20 cents to every dollar, 30 cents go to my J's and hanging out with my friends and the dope backpacks. Because our kids in the Black community need to know it's not about the spray ground backpacks and the Jordans, and that's not what creates wealth, but they're still thinking that. So shout out to Future Edge Academy for bringing entrepreneurship. And so our kids are learning young. I got 157 kids at the school in middle school, and I get to pour into them every day.
I love it.
So that they don't make the same mistakes that we made growing up with the credit, the business not set up correctly. Wealth starts with our youth. And so we made the mistake so that they don't have to make it, right?
I love it. I love it. I'm so grateful to just know that it's a school like that that's doing that. So shout out to them for sure. And this is something I got to talk to some other people there, because we got to highlight that. And these babies need to understand, again, like you said, the truth. That's what it is. Like, a lot of times we weren't telling our kids, and I still don't think that kids need to have adult conversations, but we do need to talk to our kids about certain things and being able to be okay with saying we made mistakes.
Right.
You know, we can't do this because daddy, mommy made this mistake, but I'm going to make sure that you don't make the same mistake. And again, their path is going to be their path. And I always tell my children, like, you're going to have problems I've never seen before. And my goal,
social media, hello.
My goal is just to be here to help you with the problems, or the knowledge that I give you can help you get through it. But I can't, it's going to be stuff I never saw before. You know what I mean? But you ain't going to go through my problems.
No.
You're not going to go through the problems I went through, but you're going to go through your own. And my goal is to be there, make you equipped, have all the knowledge, information, stuff like that, so you can get through the problems that present themselves. Because what's going on in this world today is definitely not nothing that we ever saw or even imagined, besides some of the stuff on the Jetsons. But other than that, some of this stuff we don't even have a clue about. So now this is great conversation, and this is the type of stuff we need to have. So what is the millionaire wealth mindset? Just that before you go into the actual conference, but what does that mindset look like when you know somebody has that mindset?
When you have the mindset to want to learn.
Oh, love it.
You have to learn. You have to become the professional at whatever your craft is. That shows that you have a mindset above average.
Yes.
You like to read. You like to do research. You like to get involved and get a real understanding. That shows a different type of mindset, right? It. You're not just out there like, oh, this is real estate is doing great, I'm going to become a realtor. No, no, because you become a realtor, you're now your own boss. There's nobody to tell you to get up, go to work. You got to be there by this time or that time. No,
Preach.
that's not how it works.
Preach.
And as little as you work, that's how much you're going to get fed.
Yeah.
But sometimes you work really hard
And don't get a lot.
and you don't get a lot. You have to still pay your dues to be a part of whatever industry you're in.
Yes.
You have to still go network. You have to still show up places. And you may not make $1, but this is passionate. This is passion behind what you do, right? And so when I think of a millionaire mindset, you're totally thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go to the next level, and you're going to do it whether you're getting paid or not.
Yeah.
And that sets you apart from the 9 to 5, or sometimes that sets you apart from others in your industry, because they look at a dollar sign and you look at impact.
Wow. I mean, look, that's a bar right there. I want us to get past, and not for this conference. I think the conference is phenomenal, and we're going to talk about that briefly. But I want us to focus on wealth more than millionaire, because our money is declining.
Yes.
You know, and we were growing up talking about I want to be a millionaire, and you start realizing, like, I live in Vegas, and I'm from New Jersey. So this is New Jersey is one of the most expensive places in the country. And so getting a house is going to cost you $600,000-$700,000, you know, and that's a crappy house. You know what I mean? That's not the greatest house, right? And so and when you start to go in these places, like, you're regular when you got $1 million house. You just over the hump in certain parts of the country. And so I want the people to focus on wealth, because I think wealth is more about a feeling than anything. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel good? You know, because if you wealthy and with money and you scared to walk out the house, you know, I don't feel like that's wealth. I don't feel like, you know, you got a bunch of money and you scared of everything. You can't do nothing. You know, you got to talk to 18 people before you go take a pee break. Right. Like that's crazy. Now, I'm not saying I want to have as much money as God want to give me. But I think if you have the wealth mindset, I think you'll handle it better. Right. You know what I mean? Because the word is that money just amplifies who you are, not, you know, make you into a better or worse person. It just amplifies who you are. So I want us to focus on becoming mentally wealthy before we receive any of these blessings, especially monetary blessings that God got for us. Do you feel like that's something?
I do. And so actually the millionaire wealth mindset is a break off of the wealth mindset. Wow. And so I did the wealth mindset conference here in Las Vegas.
Look, I didn't even know that. See? Yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I did the wealth mindset conference here in Las Vegas. I do the wealth mindset brunch. And so I do the brunch quarterly. And so the way that it came about is I got awarded in New York about 5 years ago. And I came back home and I said, God, whatever you want me to do, I said, I need to make a different kind of impact in this season. And so I came back and I prayed to God and I started the Wealth Mindset Brunch. Yeah. And from the Wealth Mindset Brunch, the focus was totally on impact, resources, opportunity, education, and then to put it to work. So to activate those things. And so when we talked about the Wealth Mindset Conference, I said we have to have all aspects of wealth: spiritual, mental, physical, and financial. Yeah. And so I didn't want people to come just thinking, oh, they're going to teach me how to make money. No, we're going to talk about how to build your legacy. Yeah. Using the wealth, which is your experiences, taking care of yourself, your family, and changing how society views you. Yeah,
I love that. You keep saying this word that I love, impact. Now, my third book, I have a chapter called Impact Over Impression. Tell me what sticks out to you about that word impact, because I keep hearing you use it.
So for me, impact is major. Like I said, I'm an auntie, and so I want to teach anybody who's willing to listen, because my calling is to serve. And so I look back over my life and I'm like, God, you opened so many doors for me, from being 18 years old, as a intern for the Las Vegas Valley Water District. And that turned into a management position by the time I was 19 at Boyd Gaming.
Wow.
And by the time I was 21, I was working at MGM in the IT department, in the slot department. And my manager at the time said, I'm going to create a position for you because I know you have a daughter that you have to take care of, and you can't really do a whole lot with her with the income that you're making. And so when I think about that about 10 years ago, I said, God, you opened up doors that I did not think I deserved.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, it was because of the impact that you're going to make.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow.
I love it.
My calling is to serve and to impact my community. So when I think about the impact, I think about what God called me to do.
Yeah. When I came up with that topic in that chapter, it was I think people were doing a lot to impress people instead of impacting people.
Yes.
And so I'm glad that we're kindred spirits on that. No, I mean, seriously, because I just watch so much people are not doing stuff authentically. They're doing it to see who's going to respond.
Right.
As opposed to doing it because it's just who they are, and that's just what they authentically bring to to the world, to the marketplace, and even in business, we're not doing that.
Right.
It's not. It's like it looked like she made a bunch of money doing real estate, so let me do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? This person looked like they did this, so I can do it. Oh, if he can do it, I know I can do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And instead of like, how can I do something to impact somebody? Because the money follows that.
It does.
The success follows all that. Like,
absolutely.
How are you impacting somebody? So I definitely wanted to touch on that. And, so now you have this conference here. So it started with the wealth conference, then the wealth brunch, the conference. Now you have this one right here, the Millionaire Wealth Mindset Conference.
Yes. How
did this one come about?
So one thing that I learned in business is that you cannot do it alone.
Oh, come on here.
You will not build a successful business alone. And when you think about it, like even in real estate, in order to make a transaction happen, you need the realtor, the lender, the title company, the inspector, the appraiser. There's so much that goes into building a successful one real estate transaction.
One contract.
Just for one person to get keys. And so I had a gentleman who had attended my conferences in the past, and so we run into each other at a MLK event.
Okay.
And he says, hey, I've been doing my conference in Detroit. He said, I want to bring it to Las Vegas. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, I'm doing the Wealth Mindset Conference again in October. And he said, oh, my conference is in October. And in that moment, we were like, we're not competing. We're going to collaborate.
I love it.
And so you think about when you go on the Las Vegas Strip, MGM is not competing with Caesars. They're figuring out how they're both going to be on the Strip, and they're still going to bring tourism. They're still going to make millions of dollars, and they're going to have different themes, different restaurants, but they're going to work together because it's about building the wealth on the Strip, right? So we decided that we would collaborate on the conference. We decided that we would bring our teams together so that we can make a greater impact. We were doing maybe 400 to 500 people at our conferences separately.
Yeah.
And if we collaborated, we were like, we could impact 5,000.
I love it.
And so now we're at Cox Pavilion where it holds 3,200 people.
Yeah.
We have about 3 more weeks at First Right of Refusal to Thomas and Mack. Thomas and Mack holds 19,000.
Yeah.
And so we've collaborated with different partners in the community, from Home Depot to Promise Startup, some new marketing.
Love it.
We've collaborated with a lot so that we can create a greater impact.
Let me tell you something. It's funny that you use that analogy talking about the Strip and the different casinos, because one thing that we get caught by the sleight of hand, I feel like, because it's a competition out front, but collaboration behind the scenes.
Right.
See, so most people might think that they're in competition, and somewhat it is. It's like healthy competition because if one is not doing good, it might hurt the other. It's not one of those things where if this casino is good, because like if something happened in front of that strip on the strip, it messes up everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Hello, COVID.
Exactly, right? So understanding that you can still, sometimes you might be doing the same thing as somebody else. But, and to the world, it can look like you guys are in competition.
Right.
But it's extremely important for y'all to find a way to collaborate behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
You know, so I like that. I'm glad y'all doing it in public as well. But definitely brother, sister who got the restaurants in the same block, stop trying to compete with each other and find a way to say, hey, you going to be doing this? Well, if you selling this, I'll sell this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you going to be this time, I'll do that.
Right.
And then so we can at least, I can send somebody to you and you can send somebody to me. You know, and we can keep going back and forth. We don't have those conversations. There's a book that was written in 1939, Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of a Negro, that says that, you know, till to this day, we will be competing like that.
Right.
That's scary. That's not scary to you?
It is. It is. It's scary because we work so hard to make it, but you're not going to make it on your own.
Oh, man.
Like, it's at some point you're going to need somebody else. And so why are we fighting? Like, if we could come together like we do when one of us is killed by the police, we march, but then we stop. We hold the posters up, we blow up social media, but then we stop until it happens again. And that's crazy.
That's that mindset that we talking about. That's that mindset shift. So how do you, what type of mindset shift do you expect people to get that participate in this conference?
So this is what I love about the conference. This year we're going to do workshops in the morning. We'll have a main stage presentation. But for those who are really serious about shifting in this season, it's the fourth quarter. I'm a big sports fan. I believe that games are won in the fourth quarter.
Hold up. You're not a Cowboys fan, are you?
I am not. I'm
Great.
Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
I'm cool. As long as you're not a Cowboys fan. We got to stop this recording right now.
I love.
Shout out to the Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Shout out to the Steelers.
Yes, thank you. But before you leave, after the main stage speakers, entertainment, award presentations, we have what's called Activation Alley. And so Activation Alley is where you are going to activate what you need right now.
Wow.
If you're leaving and you're saying, okay, I want to invest in real estate, it starts with one home. And so now you need to go to the workshop, to the room, and sign up for the first time home buyers class. You need to go and get all the documents. You'll be able to start with the lender today. We're not leaving and waiting until tomorrow and waiting for a lender to call you. No, the lender is going to be there. If you're a business owner, you can leave the conference with your EIN, a business plan,
come on here,
a website, and a headshot. Everything you need to post tomorrow and say, I'm ready, right? You've been thinking about it. You've been pulling the pieces together. And so we've worked with Promise Startup. Hello, AI technology. We work with Tech Startup, not Promise Startup, Tech Startup. And so they'll be in the building with their team. And so we'll be able to truly activate whatever you need at that time, that you're not just leaving another conference stoked about the information that you got and not doing something with it. If you leave the conference on November 16th with nothing but some excitement about what all the speakers talked about, shame on you.
Wow. Shame on you. They say, not on us. Shame on you. And I like that accountability because a lot of people, you'll be surprised how many people take courses on top of courses and go to conference on top of conference and keep saying that it was no adjustment, nothing changed, nothing happened. But it's you. You know, you're the only constant. You the one, you went through, everybody's not lying.
Right.
You know, everybody's not, you know, giving you bad information.
Right.
It was you that didn't shake a hand. We like to switch it up. Shake babies and kiss hands.
Yes.
It was you that didn't, you know, make sure you made a new friend or take in and follow up with what you said you was going to do. It was you. And so, yes, it's hold yourself accountable. All the stuff, all the resources will be there on November 16th. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, that's on you. And we don't want to hear you. Don't come on this platform talking about what ain't going on in Vegas.
Right, absolutely not.
Because Vegas has a lot going on, and you guys are definitely doing some amazing things. I love all of that you said with having the headshots and everything like that right afterwards. We need that. We need real accountability.
Right.
And because you know what, that's that boot camp that I talked about. Like, that's that boot camp. We want to see if you really want to do this, or you just over here just because it's the popping thing to do today.
Right. You
know what I mean? And we want that. I want you guys to have a phenomenal thing. I want all the people. I want you to fill up Thomas and Mac.
Yes.
But at the same time, we don't need 19,000 horrible entrepreneurs stepping out here, mudding in the water and tearing up the ecosystem. You know, everybody don't need to be on stage. Some people need to be in the audience and watching. Some people need to be customers. Yes. You know, and I'm the person to tell you that, because I'm like, everybody don't need to be entrepreneurs. Some people are great at working for somebody. Some people are better at being number 2. Some people better being number 3 or 4. Yeah. Everybody don't need to be number 1, because it takes a special individual to be able to take these hits that we take. Yes. You know, when COVID happened, I said, look, it was horrible. It was a horrible situation health-wise. But for entrepreneurs, we had these problems all the time. Yes. Somebody going out of business all the time.
All the time.
You know
Most
what I'm saying?
businesses only last 1 to 5 years.
Again, because you have to be prepared for that.
Right.
And a lot of people aren't prepared. And so we got to fix that number. Yes. It's because of these people that we don't want to come in there playing the game. We want the people to come in so that number can go up to 50%, to 80%. And you guys are providing what I feel is needed to survive the entrepreneurial fight, and that's the proper support. Yes. And so long as people are getting the proper support, I think that you can actually succeed in doing business, but you got to put in the work.
Absolutely. See, I'm from Vegas, so I believe that betting on you is so important, right? You got to bet on you. And so when I always tell the story, when I was a little girl, probably about 5 years old, my grandmother, she would bring all of us together, and we would sit at her feet, and she would teach us how to play blackjack. I love it. And so I did not know that it was other little card games that we could be playing, like Goldfish and Match and all these other games. But I knew how to play blackjack. And it wasn't until just a couple of years ago that I realized what she was teaching us. And so being from Vegas, people laugh. They're like, why does your daughter know how to play blackjack? Why she got that on her phone? She just a little girl. I said, guess what? My baby learning to know when to hold them. When to fold them, when to buy insurance. You know, blackjack taught us a whole lot. And so now I have a 25-year-old, that same little girl that was playing blackjack on her phone. She's like, Mom, I'll call you back. I'm on the line with Fidelity with my investment account. Like, yes, I did that.
I love it. See, look, we stay upgrading around here, y'all. Yes. We stay upgrading around here. Even the babies, look, they're growing up and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I love that idea about the blackjack. My biggest thing was teaching my kids how to play spades, because I said, you ain't going to college and not know how to play spades. They're going to talk about you. Right. And we graduated from HBCU, so you definitely need to know how to play bid whist or spades if you go to HBCU. But blackjack, yes, we in Vegas now. Yes. Turn the corner. I love it. So look, teach your babies how to do it.
And to each them.
Especially before they go in and give up the money to Caesars or somebody else like that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
No more city of lost wages.
Oh, come on here. I love that one. I love that. Yeah. Look, you got to give, I feel the energy, and I want you to give my people something before we close out. Some type of inspiration, a word that you got on your heart for my people so they can hear it.
Ooh. I believe that I'm going to just give you guys how God's been dealing with me on the word push. We just came out of the 9th month of the year, and we know that most babies are held in and nourished and developed over a term of 9 months. But I truly believe that this is our season to actually push and take harvest of what we've planted 9 months ago. It might have been 9 years for somebody, whatever it was. This is our season of harvest. And so you have to push. And once you push through whatever it is that you're going through right now, and it may not be a bad thing, but God is calling us to do something extra, right? And so you are going to enjoy the fruits of your harvest in this season if you just push. Like, you can't go to the hospital and expect not anything to happen, right? No, you have to push. And I remember even delivering my daughter after my push. The epidural had me so cold and I had the chills, but I just wanted to look at my baby, that thing that I had been carrying for this season. And so for all you guys watching the J Haleem show, know that this is your season to really get excited, to really push through so that you can have the opportunity to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. And it starts with a push.
I love that. Yeah, it's, we grew up in church, they praying till something happen.
Yes.
Praying till something happen.
Absolutely.
But that push is definitely necessary, and fourth quarter is everything. We got to stop using it as just a catchphrase, a good catchphrase.
Right.
But it's really how you finish things count. Mm-hmm. Because, when you're starting things, they don't always go the way you think it's going to go, especially business. We talk about entrepreneurship. A lot of times we put all our money that we had saved up, and we've been thinking about this business. We've been praying on it. We're doing everything like that, and things go down. As soon as you put the money in, it goes down. Shout out to my stock investors. You've been studying. You've been studying this stock. You know everything about all the numbers. You reading charts. You doing all that stuff. And as soon as you put your money in it, the stock goes down.
Right.
But
it's gonna come back.
It's gonna come. You gotta know it. You gotta believe it. And you got to go ahead and work that thing out. You got to go ahead and do what you need to do in that space and time. And it ain't about that start. It's really about your finishing. It only matters that you start.
Right.
But really, it really matters how you finish.
Absolutely.
It really matters how you finish. As long as you start, it's going to go the way it's going to go. But how you deal with that during that pushing season and then how you finish is everything. So what she said was spot on for me. It touched me because we're all starting things.
Right.
We're all continuously starting things. So you want to be reminded that you got to continue to push through because you're going to have things like I talked about. Our kids are going to have some experiences we've never had. We're still going to have experiences we've never had. And so you got to keep digging in to find out what you have, in you for this next season. So let go of the garbage from last season because it's not for this season. Nope. And it's not equipping you to handle what God got for you going forward. So listen, as I keep telling y'all, we're going to upgrade every single week. Yes. This is the hottest show in Vegas. I'm telling y'all that right now. And it's because I have these phenomenal individuals. I've never met so many people that's from Vegas until I started doing this show. Every time I'm out, my son plays basketball, my daughter swims. Oh, I'm not from here. I'm telling you, the majority of the people that I've interviewed are from Vegas, born and bred. I did not even imagine that. So shout out to Vegas. Y'all stop hiding.
Yeah.
Y'all stop hiding all this amazing talent from me. I got to know y'all so we can go ahead and knock it out the park. But this is in the studio with J Haleem, and we're going to find out, give everybody your website, how they can come get a house from you, how they could come in and call you auntie, also about the conference, anything they want to do to pay for it, be there, all the stuff. Put it out there, and we're going to put it on the screen so everybody can see it.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Marquetta Deville. I'm affectionately known as the Real Estate Auntie, but you can find me on my website and all social media platforms at Marquetta Deville. And then you can also follow the conference at Millionaire Wealth Mindset Con heartfelt.com is the website, the Instagram, and the Facebook account as well. We are looking forward to seeing you on November 16th. This is your opportunity to bet on you. Make that investment into you, and I promise you it will be life-changing. We're not leaving Thomas and Back or the Cox Pavilion the same on November 19th. It's going to be crazy.
Now, I got to ask you something.
Yes.
For my people, if somebody in Vegas that rocks with us,
Yes.
can we go ahead and do some type of situation special for them if they in the studio, hashtag in the studio?
Yes.
And we ain't going to tell what it is. We'll get back to that in the next couple of days. You guys will see it. But can we do something for my people?
Yes.
If they come in and put in the studio with J Haleem?
Yeah.
They can say, okay, great. So
Yeah,
look,
absolutely.
I'm fighting for y'all because I want y'all to go there. So if
Yes.
you're in Vegas and you want to go ahead in there, we're going to work out something behind the scenes that you guys can get, and we'll put it out there and promote it so that you guys can go and you get some type of special something and go in there, some incentive to make sure that you're in the house. But we want them to not be, Cox is cool, but we want them in Thomas and Mack.
Yes.
We want them in Thomas and Mack. So
Yes.
let's go ahead and try to step it up a little bit more. Listen,
Absolutely.
yo, we got to keep doing this thing. We got to push, as she just said. We got to push. We got to push. Sometimes pushing for somebody else gets something out of you as well, too. So you got to do that. Stop holding it back. Stop holding that strength back. Stop holding them ideas back. Sometimes that idea that you got blessed with wasn't for you. You got 18 things going on, but you still got another idea. Give it to your sister. Give it to your brother. And be happy that you gave it to them and see that thing knocking it out the park with something that you came up with. And don't even ask them for nothing. Just tell them to remember you. I always used to tell my friends, don't act like you don't know me when you blow up.
Oh, we not kidding no more?
Exactly. Don't act like you don't know me when you blow up. You know what I mean? So that's what I want y'all to do. But y'all already know it's your boy J Haleem. You can follow me on all social medias. I am J Haleem on every social media platform. Go ahead and follow In the Studio at J Haleem on Instagram and also on YouTube, In the Studio at J Haleem. And www.jhaleem.com is the website. We're going to keep upgrading every single week. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for our next video, and we'll see you next week right here in the studio with your boy.